That guy is, he's out of this world. He's another breed.
Yeah, but I guess welcome to COOLDOG. New faces here today. We have a new co-host. He signed the contract. TMZ had been posting rumors. I have little leaks. Someone's leaking information somewhere. I gotta find out. I gotta identify who's doing this. You're leaky?
No, I leaked.
You leaked a little?
I just leaked the contract.
You've been leaking a little?
I think I might fucking break the contract, dude. If you fucking keep calling me leaky.
How's it feel to be on the greatest show on the earth?
Feels pretty good. Man, it feels awesome. I think, honestly, like, we're kind of breaking boundaries. Like, I feel like two dudes have never made, like, a podcast together.
Two white dudes,
Two white dudes. Never.
Yeah.
You never catch that.
You don't catch that, and I feel like we're kind of trying to break the stigma and break the... whatchamacallit?
Break
the barriers. Break down some walls. Break down the ceiling.
Break it down. Break the ceiling down.
I was gonna say something, but it's just completely evaporated from my brain. The social media went crazy for it. People that probably don't even listen to this podcast were going crazy. They were like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah, dude. I was getting text messages like, "Dude, congrats."
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? Like, dude, you shouldn't be doing this.
Austin texted me. He said, "You motherfucker, that spot was supposed to be for me." And I said, we've never talked about this. This is really weird.
I don't know you. How do you get my number? Like, yeah.
Let's talk about Taylor Swift overstepping my boundaries multiple times this past week. Basically what happened was, friend of the show, Jake Johnston, posted a little TikTok video where he did a lip sync, a little bit of a, Taylor Swift commented on this as she said, it was a whole movie. That's what Jake made. And in this video, Taylor Swift was wearing the same exact sweatshirt I'm wearing right now, by the way, which you cannot buy. It's sold out, and it's never coming back. But
you can buy this on eBay.
Yeah, you can buy that on eBay, and you can go to yokkang.net to get some COOLDOG hoodies and a little COOLDOG shirt for my dog that died. But that's a whole other story.
And I get profits from that, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure. We'll send something your way. We'll send you a little cheese basket. How does that work?
I don't want cheese basket. How about some real cheddar? You know what I'm saying? Some of that real cheddar.
Is that like the Wagyu of, you want some expensive cheese? What is that?
No, real cheddar.
Anyways, Taylor Swift liked, commented, saw my merch, and then I don't know. I just felt like the fact that she also liked the video. I just felt like that was it got a little bit weird at that point. But
it got a little bit weird at that point. She commented, then she liked it, and I was like, "That's too much."
That's too much. The comment was enough. She did enough, but I'm happy that she saw it. It's kind of
happy for Jake.
But what if it wasn't her? What if it was like a little social media intern?
Or is... I thought you were just saying, like, in general, like, what if it was a serial killer that was saying that, Oh yeah, what if it was a social media intern?
I feel like I wouldn't want to tell Jake because I feel like he'd be heartbroken.
Yeah, I thought about that for a second. I'm like, what if it is? But I like to think that it is Taylor.
I feel like Taylor is a genuine person, and I feel like she would take the time out of her day to genuinely go through messages and kind of fan art from viewers, something that I don't do.
I don't. I'm usually like mute that.
I mute and I block whoever really tries to make contact with me because
I think it's parasocial and that's like unhealthy.
Well, actually, I would agree that I am the viewer's friend, and that
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, if anybody wants to show up at my house,
okay, well, we're fucking blowing out the Drake candle for that one.
You just probably caused like 3,000 years of bad luck with that.
But for you though, you said that you're the friends with viewers, and that's weird.
Do you think we're a better combo than Hamza and Aaron Hall?
Yeah, because we actually hang out outside the scenes, and we're not like produced by a big multimedia firm.
That is true. There are people pulling strings behind the scenes to make that friendship happen.
Puppeteers, Warner Brothers, Lionsgate. all those people are behind that podcast.
The Four Freak Show is a real how do I put this?
Real piece of work.
Yeah, real piece of work. Real powerhouse. Real brick shithouse, as I've used that terminology before.
Real brick shithouse. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say, Grandpa. Fucking 1930s term.
I had a very ominous message yesterday from Hamza. I was streaming, and he came into my chat and he said, "Me and Chase are calling on Zoom. Would you like to join?" And I was playing a story mode game, so I had to say, no, I can't right now. But if you give me 30 minutes, I will. And then he said yes. And then 30 minutes passed. I ended my stream, and I'm like, all right, let's call. And he said, well, actually, we're not calling anymore. I was like, what? And I was like, whatever.
He wanted it for the cameras.
He wanted it for the cameras. He wanted his positive social interaction. And then he said something like where he was like, Chase wants to meet you. And I was like, I feel like I was like being introduced to like the Godfather in like the Godfather movies, where he's gonna be sitting in this like ominous room, and he's like, and I go in and I'm like, sir, you wanted to meet me?
Hello.
You met him.
God.
You met Chase Rutherford.
I helped plot with Chase Rutherford. That is true.
Didn't he pee on the front lawn?
Back lawn. No, it's back lawn.
Took in the backyard. Took a little whiz.
Yeah, he like pulled up to the house, and the whole point was for him to go into their room unknowingly while they're streaming and go with this big latex suit on. And basically, it was very scary at the beginning because he was like wanting to do this prank, and I didn't realize like it was supposed to be a prank. I was like, is this like, can they know about it? So then I told Weston and Kalen about it, and they're like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, sure, we could do it. And then Chase was like, oh, I thought it was supposed to be like a kind of like a secret, but that's fine if you already told. So then what I did was I then the next day said, no, it's actually not on. He's actually not coming here. It's canceled. And then in secret, I told Weston, okay, it's going to happen. But then I didn't tell Kalen because I thought it'd be funny if Kalen didn't know. So then, yeah, that whole thing happened. He drove an hour and 30 minutes to our house and then took a photo of the outside of our house and said, is this the right address? And it was kind of creepy. Like just like receiving like a photo of the outside of our house from Chase. I was like, yeah, that's our house. Yeah, that definitely is our house. And then he was like, okay, good. And then he parked a little bit down the block and waited like while he was in the Zoom, did the fake background. And then when he got kicked out, he like drove his car in the front parking lot or in the front driveway. And then went around in the back, pulled up his latex suit, took a little pee in the backyard, and then went in and did the whole thing.
Did you feel like he crossed your boundaries by kind of, overstepped some boundaries by taking a piss in your backyard?
I really feel like we bonded
over the pissing.
Because I have also done that.
Well, he kind of marked the territory. Then he kind of owns the house now.
I peed over it when he left.
Oh.
So
Do you think Weston also like later snuck out and peed over it because he is the landlord? He kind of wanted to remain in power.
I don't know. Maybe he did. In my mind, he didn't. But I peed over it at least, so that's good.
That's good. It's good that you guys have like at least some sort of kind of thing going on there. I think it would be fun. You know what we need to do? Guest ideas of people we should have on the pod. I already had Hamza on, and I will have him on again at some point. But I think we should have every member of Four Freak Show on individually, and see
that would be fun.
And pick their brains. Although we would I'm pretty sure Chase still doesn't know how to use Discord, from what I've heard. So we're gonna. I'm not getting on Zoom. I refuse. I'm not typing in that nuclear code to join.
Yeah,
the
literally.
room.
I don't know about
that. I feel that would be interesting. What
Chase on by satellite. Like a fucking newscast.
Yeah, and then there's like a
live.
We ask a question and then there's like a 5-second like just dead air when he's like because there's a delay.
It's like, Chase, what do you think about Four Freak Show for your future? I really do think that the Four Freak Show was going to be a great for the future.
Have you noticed how nowadays like all these like right-wing commentator channels are blowing up, like Steven Crowder? Steven Crowder. Who else?
I don't know. I don't watch right-wing media, so you tell me, bro.
I'm trying to remember his name. Steven Crowder, and then there's that other guy, Dave Rubin.
Dave Rubin?
Dave Rubin.
Dave Rubin sounds like a guy who like made a sandwich.
He's one of those guys that plays a centrist, and also Dream.
Oh yeah, Dream.
Dream.
Shout out to Dream.
Dream, everyone's favorite conservative talk show host. I keep thinking that your shirt says "Low Gang."
I don't even know what it says.
You just buy shirts with things that you don't even know what they say.
Listen, it's not like it's terrible. It's a car.
Wolfgang.
Does it actually say Wolfgang?
I think it does. Yeah, and you literally don't know what it says.
No, I don't know what it says. I saw it and I was like, "That looks cool."
You didn't even read what was on the shirt.
It's a cool car. Like, what do you want from me?
What if it was what if it was secretly like something homophobic? Like
I
you didn't
did
even
not
read
fucking get canceled, and I would literally be off the internet. Okay, well, this is a learning lesson for me. I'll start reading shirts. But I just thought it was like a vintage tee, and it had a car on it. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about this, could have easily been like really redneck and gone the other way.
Literally, if I don't know, man. If I see a shirt on the internet that just has Wolfgang, that sounds kind of German, and that immediately raises red flags for me.
But what about Tyler the Creator though?
Well, he's different.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I know. At least I know what that means. You don't know what this means. You don't know who made this shirt. Do you know who made this shirt?
I think this is the other thing too is that I think it's a vintage tee because it's very you can't tell because of the quality of the camera, but it's not very high detailed printing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fuzzy. It's kind of smooth around the eyes.
How much did you pay for it?
$20.
You got ripped off.
I did not. I love this shirt.
Is it used?
No. So that's why I said vintage.
Oh, okay. You ever think about you ever go to a thrift store and then you buy something and you're like, I wonder what this shirt's story is. I wonder where it's been.
Yeah, you know what I actually think about? Hold on. That's perfect. It's not. I didn't even intend to even talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I bought this. I remember. I bought this for you at that one thrift shop, and I honestly do think where has this owl been? Where this creepy ass owl has made its way into an Austin thrift shop for $1, and then how I now have it, and now it's gonna be in your room.
I feel like somebody definitely died. Somebody passed away, and then the grandchildren picked it up and were like, "What is this garbage that our old hag of a grandmother had?"
Can you imagine if I open? Let's go. What's inside? Ashes fell out. That'd be terrifying. It's an urn.
Oh my god! Yeah, for our audio listeners, it's a little owl. Looks like some sort of potentially sacrificial owl.
Woo-hoo. It's gonna be in Aksel's room. We're gonna hide it in his room, and he's gonna be like, "Where'd you put it?" I'm like, I've never moved it.
Do you want me to get controversial on this podcast? I was thinking about it last night.
Let's get controversial.
I've been holding my tongue about this, okay? I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care anymore. I think it is such bullshit. And you don't have to agree. You don't have to speak on this if you don't want. This is just my opinion. I think it is total bullshit that you had to apologize for making a joke about witches going to Halloween Town. That is total bullshit to me.
I will say, I just felt bad because I never really do want people to feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But again, in hindsight, it wasn't that crazy. Because first of all, let's get the record clear. This is me talking about the bad witches that hexed the moon. Okay,
so yeah, we should be making fun of those witches.
Yeah, exactly. I was going after the mean ones that hexed the moon, and I said, "What's going on in Halloween Town?" Another thing I'd like to point out. Okay, Halloween Town literally has witches in it.
It does.
That is Halloween Town. I'm not wrong in saying that there's no witches. If there weren't any witches in Halloween Town, then you'd be like, what the fuck? But there are witches in Halloween Town. And then, I just don't know, why that was, I didn't say, fuck you or anything like that. I was just like, what's going on in Halloween Town? Made a simple joke, and then I later regretted it. And I was like, I don't know if I should be doing this. And I said,
No,
sorry.
here's what I'll say to every witch out there, okay? If I say something that ever upsets you...
Dude, when you went like, you started to go like that, I'm like, I'm thinking, I don't represent my co-host at all,
If I say something that ever upsets you, and I don't have anything against witches, but if I say something that ever upsets you, either kill me or you're a phony. Either literally hex me and ruin my life, or you're a phony, and you have no right to even be offended.
Okay, I'm gonna be lighting this drink candle again. Make sure you carry on to a better life.
No, but listen, respect, practice whatever you want to practice. Just like shut the fuck up sometimes. Like.
Shut up sometimes. This is a very beautiful message, I would say. Very inspirational.
And it's like I'm very familiar with paganism. Estonians have actually the kind of native Estonians before we got fucking invaded over and over again, and like our whole fucking shit got diluted. Native Estonians were pagans, and I completely respect paganism as a completely valid religion, obviously. But it is more so the fact that there's just people on the internet who I just feel like use it as a fucking aesthetic. And then those to me kind of seemed like the people that were getting mad at you. And it started to drive me nuts at that point. And I was just like,
it just caught me very off guard because I did not expect that to happen at all. I thought it was a very tame joke. And I didn't even think like the witches would come after me. I thought they'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, like fuck those witches for hexing the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, no, fuck you, asshole. I said, I'm sorry.
What came of that? Did anything happen because they hexed the moon? Did anything?
I don't know. I mean,
or did the good witches win the battle and kind of unhex it? Is that a process? Are you familiar with this? Did you do your research after this?
I just said I was sorry.
You didn't?
I generally did. I generally was sorry, but I didn't. The moon. It could be hexed still. Oh, I don't know.
That is.
I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be hexed.
You want to know a little bit of a comfy thought I've always had about the moon? I've always loved the moon, by the way. I just want to put that out there. Any jokes aside.
Don't want anybody thinking that I hate the moon.
I love the moon, and I love...
Fuck that dumbass moon.
Whenever I'd be away from home or whatever, when I was a kid, or even I remember when I was in America, I used to look at the moon, and I was like, wherever I'll go in the world, the moon will always be there.
And we're all looking at that same moon.
And everyone's looking at the same moon. Like, I always used to be like, when I would be like I used to get like, when I was like 6 years old to 7 years old, I'd always like, whenever I'd go to my friend's house or whatever, I'd immediately be like, I really want to go home. Like I was one of those kids. So I would look at the moon if I was sleeping over. I'd be like, my parents are probably looking at that same moon. So it's whatever.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is beautiful.
It's pretty. It was pretty like kind of relaxing thought.
Yeah.
I also asked.
Better than you going after the witches.
Yeah, I mean, if any witches want to come on the show and defend their position.
Defend their position.
Okay.
Or a joke I made like last year.
Here's what I will say as well is in Estonia, there's a lot of believe in psychics or don't believe in psychics. In Estonia, I've noticed firsthand that there's a lot of people that take advantage of the whole psychic culture and they scam people out of money. I have relatives that are very into this, and I've seen them multiple times get scammed for a ridiculous amount of money for total just baloney. Like, and it's like some person that like, here's a fun fact, all right? When I went to Morocco, my mother and I, we went with a group of people, and in that group was somebody who they're actually like, interestingly enough, they've been on TV as like a witch slash psychic.
Really?
Yeah, and I think they're like one of the more popular ones in Estonia. And she was literally laughing on the trip about how all she needs to do is go back to Estonia for a week and do like 2 meetings where like people will come in. It's like a TED Talk kind of thing, and people will believe whatever the fuck she says, and then she can go travel for like 4 months. And she was laughing about it. And I was
That's
like,
insane.
I was listening to it, and I was like, this is literally like why I don't like why I keep my fucking eyebrow raised at all of these people. Like it's just I don't know. Like they take advantage of a lot of, especially during the age of the whole like anti-vax. They take advantage of that whole hysteria. They're very they are in Estonia at least. There's a lot of sidekicks and witches who are driving this anti-vax agenda because they're like, oh, you don't need to do. And there's also healers that have done like that are like, oh, don't go to your doctor, stop taking your medication, and then they've killed people through that. So that
is insane.
It's I know that not everyone's like that, and if you want to if you practice your stuff and you're not harming people, then by all means. But those are just the people that I'm kind of talking about. I also asked our viewers for some topics, and they didn't provide anything useful. What the hell? I just saw like a ghost move through your camera.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have a ghost here.
Really? What's his name or their name? Where'd you get that from?
Target.
Really? How much was that? Was that a good deal?
$75. No, it's like 10. I got it. Me and Kellen went to Target, and I was like, you know what? I'll get this.
Kalen loves going to Target.
It also spins, but I don't know if it will spin again. Hold on. I wonder if it will sit on my arm and it'll spin.
Whoa!
Whoa! And then he shakes his booty at you, and then he turns back around.
Holy crap! You got to be joking me.
Now that's a steal. This is going to be for content, so expect that.
Yeah. Content, man. It's dry. Not a lot of content going around nowadays.
I'm dry from the content. What's a topic that a viewer has suggested?
You know what? I'll look at it right now.
Let me check. Is there something like actually like? Is there like a hashtag or is it just a Twitter account?
It's on the Twitter account. It's in the replies. I feel like I tweeted at a wrong time. I don't know if a lot of people saw it. I didn't get that many responses on it. It was kind of flopped.
Can I have the login to the Twitter account?
Yeah, I'll give you the login after this recording.
I have a tweet that I want to tweet out.
I like that. I like the sound of that. Let's see what some of these people came out. Oh, there's that one person who got a Core 4 tattoo, and they were like, talk about me. I got a Core 4 tattoo.
Fuck you, you loser.
Yeah, your tattoo faded anyways. It wasn't even
fucking lame ass tattoo too. I want to get that on my body.
I want to get like a corpse tattoo. I would love to get one.
If you actually got one, like I feel like even Corpse himself would be like, "Are you okay?" Like,
see, that's the problem. Is like once you get a couple tattoos, it's like I don't care anymore. I'll get anything tattooed. Like, so like I think I was like I don't know who I was talking about. I think I was like talking to Layton as a joke. I was like, "Hey, Layton, when are you gonna get the COOLDOG tattoo?" And then he was like, if you pay for it, I'll literally get it right now. And I was like, no.
My God. No.
I was like, no, thank you, don't. It's like, what if like every year from now, this podcast is like completely dead and then he'll forever have a fucking COOLDOG tattoo.
Imagine like just like a month from now, because we always just move on stuff as we're like, yeah, we don't want to do it anymore. And then Layton just has this tattoo and he's like, I'm sorry.
I remember somebody was like, if you reply to this tweet, I'll literally get a Yolk Gang tattoo. And I was like, why would you ever get a Yolk Gang tattoo? That is like my business. Why would you get my company tattooed?
God.
I wouldn't even get Yolk Gang tattooed. And I've made so much money off it. I'm living a wonderful life because of it.
I think in the future I could get something Hooverr related on my body. I think it would be kind of cool. Because like I've had the name since I was in like 3rd grade. And it has like genuinely meant a lot to me. Like it's just been like always been there. Like I could maybe, but I don't know what it'd be. It wouldn't be something crazy, but
on your shoulder here, get a little portrait of Herbert Hoover, the president.
That's definitely.
Put his name under there, his date of birth, date of passage.
I was thinking more like I don't know, like a logo or something crazy.
I am like at such a weird place because I want to get hand tattoos, but then I look at my hands right now. I'm like, they're so nice. I love my hands. But I also I want to get something.
If your hand is like bigger than your face, then you're an idiot.
Oh,
got him.
That was satellite connection right there.
That was satellite connection.
I want to get a Habbo tattoo, but I don't know what from Habbo specifically, and I also want to get a Toontown tattoo, and I don't know. Like I want to find something from both games that is like looks cool, like kind of like like the Puffle.
Yeah, I think you should get. I was thinking about it because I was like trying to find something because I think it'd be cool if I was like, hey, do this, and then you actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what if you did one of the fishes from Toontown?
That could be actually pretty cool.
But I don't know any of the fishes. I just saw like a clownfish. That was a PNG. I looked up PNG Toontown. I'm not gonna lie for.
I did max fishing on Toontown. It took me like to get like the final 5 fish. There's 70 fish you got to catch, and to get the final 5 fish,
God. Me
and my friend Owen, we spent 3 days straight on Toontown fishing, 12 hours a day.
Oh my God!
And we did it.
That is insane.
And there was this girl who kind of liked me at the time, and I remember she made a Toontown account because I wasn't replying to her. So she made a Toontown account, and she found me, and she was like, "Hey."
That is insane dedication.
It is insane dedication. I respected it. I really did respect it. But I don't stop the grind for no woman. No woman's getting in the way of my hustle.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
No woman. Do you want to see my legs?
Okay, cool. Put those dogs away, though.
Okay, I put them away.
People suck at like requesting questions. By the way,
hobbies that you want to explore, skills you want to learn or improve. Nothing. There's no point in my life,
dude. Okay, now that's something that I thought about. Where I was like, because we could talk about it again. Could you deal without being able to talk? Like, if you had something happen and then you can't talk, like I feel like I would go insane. And I said that if I can't talk, just like get me out of here. You know what I mean?
Pull the plug.
I said I want to be able to talk. So I'd go.
Yeah, I think we're in a little bit of
I think I would hate it.
We're in a little bit of like a tough spot with that because we need to talk to make a living.
And I need to talk to be happy. I feel like I need to like make jokes and I need to like express myself with jokes. And I feel like if I cannot talk, like I wouldn't be able to do that, and I'd probably lose my mind. I understand how people can do it, Power to you all. That's the thing. It's like you can do it. You can like live without talking. People do it. I am just very weak-minded. Like I would be like, I just can't. Like that's it. Tap me out. Like, GG. But
I've thought about this a lot. I've thought a lot about what if I went completely blind? What if I went deaf? Like how would that affect me? And have you ever seen the movie Sound of Metal?
No, I remember we were going to watch it, but then that night I was like, I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah, it's a great film, and I really recommend watching it because it really it's basically about a movie about a heavy metal drummer who loses his hearing, and as you can understand, that's a very important part about what he does. He needs to be able to hear to play music, and it's this whole movie about his journey and like him like trying to come to acceptance with it and like everything how it like kind of affects him and like the people around him. And it really opened my eyes. It really did like open my eyes about like how, first of all, we take like our most important senses, we take completely for granted because we're so used to it. Luckily with vision, I don't take it that for granted because if I don't have these glasses on, I literally don't see. I can't like,
yeah.
So at least I have that every time I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes. I'm served a daily reminder that if it weren't for these little spectacles here, I wouldn't be able to see. But it's yeah. For me, it would have to be like a road to acceptance. I think at first I would be, especially like I feel like right now I'm like at a point in my life where I'm really like. Any like even a little like wind blow that would knock me over, it would probably like drive me nuts. So if I out of nowhere lost my ability to speak, it would probably be very hard for me to come to terms with in the moment.
I would hate it. I really like I generally like I'm just not strong minded. These people like people that live without talking. Like I think you all are such like incredible people because like I genuinely to me like I think without being able to talk, like I really like in my mind, like it would ruin so many things for me because I was like, I love making people laugh. I love like telling jokes, and I love just like being an idiot and like screaming and doing stuff like that. And I feel like without that, then it's like I was talking about like how if I wanted to make a joke like at a movie, like I wouldn't be able to like kind of like whisper it. Like I would have to just like kind of sit there, and I feel like I would go insane.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people that have lost their ability to speak or like can't speak, you are insane. You are crazy.
Yeah, any person that has faced like such a challenge, but has like completely like breezed past it, which I'm sure it was difficult for them, but it's like very strong minded.
I am not like that at all.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for a lot of those people. There's like I've never met this person, but I think my mom knows somebody whose daughter became paralyzed at a certain age. Like I think there was like some sort of accident, and she became pretty much completely paralyzed. And there was actually like a documentary on her, which is fascinating.
Really?
Yeah. And I think I watched it like years ago. This was like 10 years ago when I was a kid. And even then I remember watching it. I was like it's just like it first of all, it makes you really appreciate your own situation a lot more. Makes you realize like, okay, like if this person can overcome this, then what am I doing? Like what am I complaining for? And I don't know, yeah, like it really it really does serve as like an inspiration as well, yeah. And yeah. This is like, I don't know why, but this also just reminded me of I feel like we should talk about it as the passing of Norm Mcdonald, which was just completely
that's
out
so
of nowhere.
Sad. Like I love Norm. Like there's nobody like I go to for like a comfort video quite like Norm Mcdonald, just like interviews or like his podcast, like anything like that. I would always just like binge watch him because like I always like saw clips of him on like SNL and like clips of him on Conan, and I'd be like, this guy's so funny. And then like a lot of his humor I just like adopted and loved, and now he's gone because he died of cancer, which was a secret battle, which is insane.
Yeah, nobody even knew that he was apparently battling it for years. And then I saw this clip of his podcast where he pretty much hinted that he had it, and he was talking about how like if he were to have a terminal illness, like he wouldn't reveal it. And he brought this really interesting thing of like, I think it really kind of let me see the headspace of somebody who is facing like a battle for their life. Because basically what he was saying was like, you don't want to use it to garner sympathy. You don't want to be like, oh, like I have cancer, I might die, because then the person's gonna be like, oh my god, I feel awful, and it's like it always like will generate that reaction. And it's like he said how if he were to have a terminal illness, he wouldn't never reveal it publicly because he would feel that he would start monetarily profiting off of it. Which I can understand the way he thinks. I don't think it's necessarily the right way to think, because it's not a good idea to shut yourself off like that and be like, I don't want to garner sympathy from anybody, so I'm not going to talk about anything bad that ever happens to me.
Yeah.
But it also did make me realize that if I probably had something like that, I don't think I would make it public either. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I would want that to be like just between like me and my family, my friends.
Yeah.
And not like all over like social media, because just for me, like I feel like getting all that attention on me, also it's just like kind of like it could be kind of like a stressful thing.
Oh yeah.
And also, okay, I focus. But yeah, it's like, and also there's a ghost or something. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know personally, but like if people want to talk about like power to them, like I don't think that they should be afraid because it's like getting like a monetary thing to talk about. Like you're gonna get more on you, but
that's kind of exactly my view about it. Is I think it's a personal choice. I think if you want to talk about it, I don't think there should be any like side eye to that. You know, if you want to, because I feel like, especially if you are a public kind of public figure, I feel like you opening up about any of your experiences can be very beneficial to people that might be going through the same thing, because they might find relatability in it. You know, like whenever I say, "Oh, boo-hoo, I'm so depressed," I'll have like so many people reach out to me and be like, I'm also sad. Yeah, I'm depressed, and
sometimes I get sad, man.
I get sad, and I can relate to that, and it helps, and I can definitely feel that. Like whenever I'm sad, I love to listen to sad music sometimes, and I love to watch maybe sad movies so I can feel that. So I guess as a reminder that it's normal to feel this way sometimes, and it's not like a unique battle necessarily.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is just like, I remember I was watching The Green Knight, and I found out through you because I was in Green Knight, and I saw that you had texted me and you said no shot, and I saw that you sent me a link, but I was watching a movie. I'm like, I'm not gonna open this right now. I don't want to be on my phone. So then the movie ended, and I was like, all right, let me check out. Like I thought it was gonna be some like funny like Trainwrecks announcement where it's like, oh, Trainwrecks is doing this.
Jordan Face Clan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then I opened, and I was like, Norm Mcdonald has passed, and I was like, what? And then I felt really bad because I was at the movies with my mom, and she, like, my mood just completely dropped. Like, I was like,
yeah.
She was like, oh, so what did you think about the movie? And I was like, yeah, it was good. And I was just like looking at the ground. I was like, damn. Like, I was just like so sad.
God, I literally found out. I think Kalen, or no, I don't know if Kalen told me or I told Kalen, but I remember I just saw like the Dateline thing, or like it was like some kind of like, it wasn't TMZ. So then when I initially saw it, I'm like, okay, maybe it's a hoax. Like just like randomly saying like Norm Macdonald has cancer and like he dies. Like that sounds like it'd be like a hoax. And so that's why I said you like the no shot. And then I saw like people that Norm knew saying like RIP, and I was like, damn, he's actually gone. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like, it's just really insane. Like, I never in a million years would, like, I feel like it's kind of like the same with like Kobe, where like I understand like Norm's old, he's on like a super athlete, but I never in a million years would be like, oh, Norm's gonna die like in 2021. Like I thought it'd be like 30 years old or like 40, and then it'd be like, oh, Norm has passed away. But I mean, he wasn't really like in a span of life. He wasn't like terribly old. Like he was older, but like he wasn't like you wouldn't expect him like to die.
Yeah,
like at his age, like it was just crazy.
It reminds me of the day that Mac Miller died. That was like really just like I literally remember. I remember that day so vividly. I got a new PC that day, and I was playing GTA with like my friends, and then one of my friends joined the call and was like, "Dude, Mac Miller died." And then I went on r/hiphopheads because that's honestly a good place to go to for any hip hop news because it's all like in one place, and it had literally been like. TMZ had announced it like 4 minutes before that. And I was like, wow. Damn. It was like, and then literally my whole day was just like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, I was literally like, I can't believe that happened. Like, and when it comes to Mac Miller, it raises a point that it's like, that has always like kind of had me thinking about it. And it's a bit of like a depressing thing, but it's kind of sad to me how it feels like sometimes the only way to get people to like give a shit about you is to literally die. Like, yeah, that's what happened with Mac Miller. Like, I remember so vividly the day that Swimming dropped. The most people were like, "Who's even going to listen to this?" Astroworld dropped because Astroworld dropped on the same day.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Everybody was like, "Who the hell's listening to fucking Swimming today, dude? Astroworld's out." And I remember literally everybody was like clowning on that. And I remember like a lot of like Mac Miller's fans were like, it was this like weird situation where they actually felt sorry for Mac because like the sale numbers weren't even like, they were lower than expected. And I remember reading stuff like, oh, I hope like Mac doesn't like, I hope he doesn't like feel sad about this because, it was like it was on the same day as Astroworld and whatever. But then as soon as he passed away, everybody was just instantly like, oh, like Mac's one of the GOATs. Like he's top 5. Like I've always loved him. Like he's the greatest.
Yeah, it was way better than Astroworld.
I mean, you can literally see this on rateyourmusic.com where before he died, I remember this so vividly. The average rating for Swimming was like, I think it was literally like 2 out of 5. It's out of 5. I think it was like, it was either like 2.9 or exactly 3.0. And now it's like 3.7. Since he passed, it's gone up, which is ridiculous. And I think it's happened to like all of his albums. Like, all of his albums are, like, pretty highly rated after he passed, which I don't understand this at all, which is, like, it's a part of, like, human psyche. Like, we also saw this happen with Etika, where I felt like when Erika was actually here and literally fucking, kind of in a way like screaming out for help. You had, motherfuckers like Keemstar literally mocking him, like her fucking taunting him. And then as soon as he passed, it was all of a sudden, it was like, oh, I always loved Erika. I was always Erika's friend. Like, it's just shit like that where it's like,
that was just really fucking scummy. Like, the whole fucking Keemstar shit is a whole other fucking thing where I'm like, fuck that guy.
I think what that situation taught me was that if that situation didn't make Keemstar completely go under and disappear, nothing will. So the only way to actually make him disappear is to literally ignore everything he does and to constantly see him like bait people into talking about him, and literally every single person falling for it is so frustrating for me because, me and you, we've been around this shit for like 6 years now, dude. We've been doing this for so long. It's always goes the same way. Keemstar's numbers start going down, and then he does something outrageous, and then everybody will be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Keemstar's doing this. We need to talk about this, guys. We need to do this." And all it does is just give him more attention. It's kind of like Caitlyn Bennett, where the gun girl, where like she will lose relevancy, and now she's been quiet for a while, but for a while the way it worked was like she would lose relevancy, and then she would say something outrageous, and then everybody would start quote retweeting her, being like, "This girl is so dumb." But if you looked at her follower count, she would gain like 20,000 followers, because the people that don't like her, they're not following her in the first place. They're not going to follow her, but there are people that will see her and be like, you know what, I actually kind of like this.
I would walk around with a big firearm on the campus.
Exactly.
I understand.
Like, it's just, but I also at the same time, like, I don't necessarily blame anybody, because, in Keemstar's case, I do think it's important to talk about what he's doing with like young girls now. Even though
that is just so weird. I mean, that's literally like him. His new talking point is like, I date 20-year-olds. It's like, did you see his tweet where he said, "If you remember 9/11, you're too old for me"?
I did see that, yeah. And he looked up
that is insane.
He looked up and this tweet was like, such fucking like it was so clearly bait when he like looked up 39-year-old woman, and he was like, "You guys want me to date these?" And it's like, I don't know, why would I ever date these? Like, that was so clear the garner outrage, and it worked. Everybody was like, "What the fuck did you just say?" Like, in these situations, you literally just have to like ignore him, so he just like talks to a wall, because he's just saying stupid ass shit to get people to pay attention. But I do agree that when he's actually causing action, when he's actually dating these really young girls, that does need to be talked about. That can't just be like, "Oh, let's ignore him. He'll go away."
Let's sweep that under the rug. It's Keemstar. It is really fucking weird, and how he does not care that he's dating girls that are closer to his daughter's age than his own age.
Ugh.
Like, it's disgusting. It's gross.
And then all these like wannabe capitalists are like, "Oh, what do you like? You guys wouldn't do the same thing. Like, you guys wouldn't do the same. Like, you're just self-reporting, bro."
Like, dude, like that's so, it's just so weird. Like, there's such like I really don't understand how anyone thinks like that is a normal relationship where a 20-year-old and a near 40-year-old are dating. Like, do you understand? Like, if you said those two ages in general, there's not a lot in common between those ages. Like, I don't know what the fuck Keemstar talks about with his 20-year-old girlfriend. Like, that's just so fucking weird to me. Like, you're a dad. That's like you talking to your daughter. Like, it's just so gross.
Have you seen him on like when he was on like the Aiden Ross stream?
And I saw clips of it on TikTok, and how like everyone was like, "What the fuck is wrong with Keemstar?"
Literally.
I remember I saw a clip, like, and then Tory Lanez was like in the room, and he's like giving him the side eye, like, "What the fuck is going on with this guy?"
Yeah, and he would like get up and run away. Like, it was like, "What the hell? Like, what are you, like a child?"
Yeah, I'm actually glad that like everyone on Aiden Ross's stream was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this old weirdo?" Like, it's just so fucking stupid.
Aiden Ross is like, I don't know, like, I hate being the kind of guy where it's like, it's like, oh, if you like, these people are so stupid. Like, these people are actually so dumb, and I am like way smarter than them. But like, when it comes to like any of like the Aiden Ross and Rice Gums, I'm like, I don't know how anybody, like, even like when we were kids, we didn't like Rice Gum. Like, we didn't look up to any of these people. So it's like, I don't understand how people act. Like, when you look at Aiden Ross, like, what exposed his phoniness, Soulja Boy did the whole thing where it's like, Kanye didn't put my verse on the album. He's fake as fuck. And then he went on Aiden Ross's stream and played his verse, and it was so bad. It was so terrible. And Aiden Ross was sitting there like, "Yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, you did that with COB. I remember I saw a TikTok of everyone reacting to the fucking Drake lesbian bar where he's like, "Say you're a lesbian girl, me too."
Mm-hmm.
And every single like reactor was like, "What the fuck is this corny ass line? Like, what is this shit?" And A. Ross was the only one who went, "Okay." He kept nodding his head like he thought it was like an actual like good bar. And I was like, dude, like he just doesn't like. I don't know. Like, bro, I don't know how he actually would think that even that's a good bar. In
those like circles, like anybody that just nods their head to music, like it's so fake to me. Like I just, it's literally like, to me, it seems like they're doing it to like, because, you know, someone's playing their song to them, or like they're obviously eyes are on them and they're looking for a reaction. So they're doing it to be like, yeah, I like this. I dig this. But in like in their mind, like they don't even know like what they're thinking about it. Like, I think I talked about this on stream one time, but it reminds me of when, you remember that Kanye song where it was like Ye versus the People, and it was him and T.I. trading bars about, because it was like it was when Kanye like first really properly started wearing the MAGA hats and stuff, and then they did this like horrible song where it was like Ye was like I agree that Obama was heaven sent, but when I knew that Trump was going to be president, it was like some bullshit bars.
I heard about that. I never like actually listened to it though.
It's awful. It is so awful.
It sounds awful.
And he had like John Legend over at his house, and he recorded a video where he played the song for John Legend, and he was just sitting there like, it's like, that song is not good, bro. There's no way John that Legend, you actually feel it like this about it.
John Legend says, "Get me on that. Trump is president. Get me on that. I want more of that."
Like I don't know what the appropriate way to react is when somebody plays your music, because I don't want to just automatically be like, "Oh yeah, oh this is sick." Because that's to me, this comes off as immediately fake. Like if I played my music to somebody and they start doing that, I'd be like, or maybe I'm just a cynical person. I don't believe when anybody ever compliments me on anything.
Yeah, I'm the kind of same way. I feel like if I did play music for people and they automatically said it was good, I just feel like it'd be like them being a good friend. Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't be like, okay, this is actually good. I feel like I would need like fucking Anthony Fantana to be like, the 808s are a bit rusty, you know, the vocals are kind of out of touch and out of place. It's like, but like nobody really has that kind of effort to do that.
Yeah, I always appreciate constructive criticism when it's actually like I don't know, like to me there's a difference, because there is when I used to make videos, I appreciated constructive criticism where it's like, oh, this could have been edited better, or this could have been edited better. But I always had like you know, this is gonna sound so fucking like up my own ass, but it's like I had a vision, and if somebody was like, if their advice was like, oh, I don't like this vision, then I'd be like, I don't care about this. I don't care about your advice on this. Like I have a vision. I have a certain way I want to do things. If it was like, oh, like you should put a sound effect here or do that, like that I really appreciate it. Or like, oh, this joke could have been delivered better. That I appreciate it. But when it's always like, because it's always like, it's really good and great to listen to constructive criticism, but you also like, at the end of the day, like you kind of also want your product to be you. You want it to kind of have like your style. So yeah, I don't know. It's you gotta learn what to take and not to take from constructive criticism, because at the end of the day, like everybody sees it through their own eyes, and they kind of, a lot of people when they give constructive criticism, they do it out of the lens of like how they would do it, because you know how else are you, I guess, gonna really criticize it? But yeah, I don't know.
You gotta inhale the good shit and exhale the bullshit.
Exactly. What else is happening in the universe? I feel like literally, like I feel like something like nothing's happening. Like Mr. Beast is going around like throwing money everywhere. That's like about it. Like he was playing like poker with people. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw you play with what, Ludwig and Critical, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he won. I didn't actually click on the streams.
I didn't watch it either. I hope somebody won the money. Also, I just realized like how much like the lighting in my room has changed now. Like the room is slightly getting darker. Like now, like you used to be able to see like what that says. Now you can't even see it. So now I have to like go into my settings and like turn up the brightness a little bit.
I forgot what I was gonna bring up. I had something I wanted to bring up. It's crazy how like they really were planning on having a VidCon this year.
Yeah, and I was gonna have a big panel, and I was gonna have like Jimmy Kimmel on.
I just knew immediately. I was like, no, that VidCon. If it happens, it shouldn't happen, because like
it's still Delta and fucking still COVID's going around. People haven't gotten vaccines. You're not going to fucking check vaccine cards. So it's like, what's the point of like actually having it?
It's fascinating to me because in Estonia now, if you go to a restaurant, even they have to check it. You have to show that you either have to show proof of a negative test in like the last like week or two, or you have to show a little. You get these little like vaccine proofs, and then it has a little QR code. Some places scan it, some places just look at it, and there's also some places that the fancier restaurants I've noticed they don't care. It's kind of like how I've noticed at fancy restaurants they don't ID you for alcohol. They like
they do.
Here they don't. Like anytime I've been at a fancy restaurant, well, I don't get ID'd here in general. I only get ID'd like in the UK or like whatever. I haven't gotten a chance to get ID'd in the US yet, but I'm sure I will. But here I've only been ID'd like twice, and the one time was when I shaved my facial hair. Because
really?
I guess they were like, oh, it was like a young person working as well.
You're a little baby.
But even it was interesting when I was in the UK with Kaylin and Weston. Weston didn't get ID'd ever.
Really?
He didn't. I remember we were at an Italian restaurant. We all got wine, and like we did not get ID'd. It's just like it literally depends on the vibe of the restaurant here. Where I think it's like a European thing where like the waiters just don't want to ruin the fucking vibe. Like they don't. They're like if their whole group's doing it, like whatever. Like
God,
I think
we went to fucking eat food with Connor, and he wanted to get a drink, and he has an actual Texas ID, and for some reason the guy saw his ID and like read out the back and said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, like I can't take this. Like the printing on the back, like it's supposed to be printed all the way." And Connor's like, "What?" And then like on the back of ID, like it just like had like there's supposed to be a number or something that the guy said like wasn't there. And he's like, "Sorry, buddy, I can't serve you." And he gave him the buddy treatment. He's like, "Sorry, buddy, I can't serve you." And it was like a whole big thing where it's like, wow. He's like, I guess I'll have a Coke. And I was like, oh, here you go.
That is so embarrassing when Americans love doing the sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. And the thing is, too, is he spent his whole day the other day at the DMV going to see like if there's something wrong with his ID, and it wasn't wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
So then he just sat there and did nothing.
That guy,
no reason.
I feel like that guy must have been like new at the job or something, that he was like that insane about the IDs. Like I feel like from I've heard of Americans that have, because fake IDs aren't really a thing here. People manage to get their own alcohol before they turn 18, and then when they're you turn 18, then you just use your normal ID. And I understand in the US, it's 21, so but after you get 18, you get a little cunning, and you get your little fake IDs.
You gotta get fake ID. Here it is, and you're from fucking Idaho, and they go, here you go. Here's a draft beer. And you go, ooh, okay.
But I have heard that like most places, like they don't care that much. Like they will like kind of like they'll lie over it, and if it's a bad fake, then they'll take it away. But if it's passable, then it's like they don't like check for like, oh, does this have writing on the back? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think some people are kind of cool with it. Like I have friends that have like fake IDs, and it's like if you go in and like sometimes if it's a younger person working at the bar, and they like look at your ID for a bit, and then it's like, hey, you can get served. It's like I feel like sometimes they kind of know. Like, okay, this is a fake. I'm not going to be that guy who takes their ID. But some people will take good pride in fucking taking somebody's fake ID. Like, they act like they're a fucking superhero for taking fake IDs. They're like, give me that. The shadows on the ears aren't right. And then they'll take it. And then they'll be like, you can't come back here ever again. Or they'll, like, hang it up or some shit and be like, this is your fake ID.
Damn.
I don't know.
That's, like, really extra.
Yeah. There are some places that I've been to or I've had friends go to. And they'll do that shit, and it's like, damn. That's
some like peak like police officer behavior. Like, I'm sorry, I know
that's activity.
Yeah, whatever. Kids shouldn't drink. Blah blah blah. But let's
shouldn't drink, kids.
Don't
Beer
drink.
is bad for you.
Beer is bad for you. Yeah, smoke cigarettes, and that was crazy for me. How for a while, I think now the cigarette age is starting to go up, but for a while in America, cigarettes were 18. Or it's like, what's the logic in that? Like, what is?
They literally went up like within the past like what? I don't even know. Like I feel like
past 5 years.
5 years. I was gonna say probably 5 years because I think when I was in high school, they like just raised it to 21 or whatever.
Yeah, which does not. I don't know. The moral of the story is laws are broken. They are. And
they're meant to be broken.
Do you know like why it is 21 in the U.S.? I watched a video about it.
I know it's because of Moms Against Drunk Driving for Teens. and how that they basically were like, okay, well, if they're drunk driving as teenagers, the right thing to do is to raise it to 21. I'm pretty sure, is it not?
Yeah, basically what happened is that they didn't even raise the federal age to 21. What they basically did was, I think there was like one, this was in the 80s basically or something, was where there was one very notable like car accident apparently where like a bunch of teenagers drunk drove and they died. And after that, it really like gave power to the Moms Against Drunk Driving movement. And basically what happened was, I can't remember who was present at the time, but basically they said if your state does not raise the drinking age to 21, you will get no highway funding. So literally all the states were like, okay, here we go. So that was a way to get states to do things.
Literally.
But I don't know. It did make the drunk driving go down. So I guess hooray. But I feel like it just doesn't make sense to me that you can send people at 18 to go to a completely meaningless war to Middle East and send them to die, or give them like literally PTSD that will ruin the rest of their life, but they can't have a beer. Like I know that's like such like a commonly said thing, but it doesn't make any sense.
It is crazy to me how like everywhere else it literally is 18. You could go across the border to Mexico or Canada and get a beer at 18, but if you step a fucking another foot across that border, it's like 21, you're going to jail. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I understand why, I don't want drunk driving either. I think drunk driving is stupid, but like,
I think there's more like modern ways to deal with it. Like, it's kind of like how schools used to teach that, abstinence is key. Don't have sex. You're going to die if you have sex. And what did that do? That just made kids have more sex, because it was just like, it was like that was like kind of like whenever you tell a group of young people like don't do this, they're naturally going to want to go and do it, because it is, when you're a teenager, it's like if you're told not to do something, you kind of just want to do it immediately, because it's like fuck the authority, man. Screw those people.
Fuck the police, bro. If you're a cop, fuck you. Hey, don't care.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answers for the world, but I just feel like something doesn't make sense. In general, I don't think kids should be sent to war at 18. I don't think that's fucking right. I think military should be like 21.
Send them earlier.
Yeah, send them earlier. 14. I mean, that's basically what they do, 14! Right? Don't they like go to like high schools, and then when you're like a fucking like freshman, they already start to like, hey, like think about your future.
It's like JROTC, I think it's called, and it's like they fucking like have these like little kids like dress up and do like fake military shit and be like, you're preparing for the military, and then they're like, yes sir, and then that's basically their club, is like being military. And then they go into the military.
I watched a documentary on Netflix. It's I think it's called like 9/11, the turning point, the war on terror or whatever. It's about basically the whole process going from even before 9/11, how they prepared for 9/11, and then how the attacks happened, and then everything that the U.S. did afterwards. Now, I will say one notable exclusion from the documentary was the oil factor of the U.S. going to like Afghanistan and Iraq and causing shit there. Oil was a notable factor, but it also obviously when war makes money. Because when there's war, the whole like kind of war industry is making a lot of money, because they have to make all these tanks, cars, ammunition, guns, like all these things. They're making a lot of money off of these. But it was honestly like, it was really heartbreaking seeing like soldiers talk who were actually sent there, because they were basically brainwashed with propaganda that we're going to Afghanistan to avenge 9/11. We're gonna go there and we're gonna get the people who did it. And we're gonna go there to save America. And these all these soldiers were saying, like, as soon as I got there, you could immediately tell that nobody knew what the fuck we were doing here. There was no plan. We were just aimlessly in a war. There was no like exit plan. There was no like course to victory. Like everybody said, like, oh, when we win, we're gonna leave. But nobody knew what winning meant. Like they literally said that nobody had any idea what winning meant. They were just sending these young men to war because it was making the right people money. And it's just heartbreaking. Like there was this one clip where this guy was I guess it was like it was soldier footage. They were like walking in the deserts of Afghanistan at night, and this guy was just talking about like, yeah, like I called home today, and it's like it feels like my family doesn't even miss me. Like it's like I asked how they were doing. It's like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and yeah, I think I gotta go. And it's like they didn't even ask me how I was doing, and like nobody even it feels like nobody cares about us anymore. Like the whole reason why I came here, I feel like, was because of 9/11. And nobody cares about 9/11 anymore. And it's kind of true. Like, at that point, and especially when you consider that, okay, they got bin Laden in like 2011, and they still stayed there. And now it's like they pulled out of, now they're pulling out of Afghanistan, and America is doing what America does best, where they're like, basically, it's not our fault that everything is fucking completely dog shit here. It's actually the military of Afghanistan. They don't actually care to fight. The documentary also inserted perspectives of those, and there's a lot of people in the Afghan military that find that viewpoint very insulting, because there's a lot of Afghan soldiers that have given their lives to this fight, so to then see America pull out of the mess that they caused and be like, well, Afghanistan just doesn't want to deal with it. Like, they just can't be bothered. When you especially see that the government that basically the U.S. helped install, it's very corrupt, so I don't know why you would expect people to fight for that. But yeah, that's the world. That's the world. It's so awful. It's fucking miserable.
It's crazy.
But I guess that wraps it for this episode of Cool Dog.
Cool Dog News.
Cool Dog News. Check out CNN. It's a pretty cool independent place.
Check out Hassan.
Yeah, check out Hassan. He's every day gets more mentally ill because of the screaming that he has to do. Yeah. Do you have
you motherfuckers?
Do you have any final words?
Live, laugh, love.
Hell yeah. Yeah, live, laugh, love, y'all. Buy the merch, yoking.net.
The Drake candle's been blown out.
Yes, the holy sacrifice has...
Certified lover boy. Bring it on SoundCloud.
It's been finished. All right. Goodbye, guys.